All right, so I don't know if y'all heard about this one, but Uber to begin testing women preferences option for women riders and drivers to request each other and avoid men. So we're going from whites only to women only. Are
Expensive
y'all
thing here.
are y'all here for this? Uber announces they will soon begin testing a woman preference option for women riders and drivers to want to avoid who want to avoid men and request women females only. No males at all. On Wednesday, July 23rd. So it's already been locked. They started including the dates so we know when this so we can keep a historical track when all this stuff is coming out. Uber released a statement previewing their women preferences options coming soon. The announcement began at Uber or the announcement began at Uber. We believe that when we make our platform better for women, we make our platform better for everyone. Across the U.S., women riders and drivers have told us they want the option to be matched with other women on trips. Uber continued, we've heard them, and now we're introducing new ways to give them more control over how they ride and drive. For the first time in the US, we're launching women preferences features designed to give women riders and drivers more choice and more confidence and more flexibility when they use Uber. The rideshare company revealed that pilots soon begin rolling out in three cities. Obviously, it's all going to be Los Angeles, San Fran, Detroit. What they got going on in Detroit? I don't know if I mentioned this, but you know how I always speak pretty unflatteringly about Florida. I think I'm starting to look at Michigan a similar way. I feel so bad for the people in Michigan. Like between the Flint stuff, between the
They
fact
got their water fixed yet?
that like Michigan just seems to be like, even though it has one of the major market cities in the United States, they just get not a lot of love. I heard on podcasts from people that are from Michigan, they all talk about like Michigan looks like you dropped a bomb there, like literally the Middle East. Like it's crazy. That has nothing to do with anything. So I'm pretty sure we've all heard about this in some shape or form. Women and women drivers. So I'm it's interesting that they included that. Have pretty negative experiences when it comes to driving with men, which isn't super unfortunate. So they're actually doing something about it. Women preference, so the option to drive with women exclusively, and I mean that's pretty much it at a base level. You know the crazy part, you hear these things in other mediums too. Like I've heard certain people talk about how they want women only gyms, women only restaurants. So you know, in a society where you think we're becoming more and more mixed and meshed, some people really do want it, environments in which they only have one particular sex. I wonder, you know me, and before I ask y'all the question, you know me, I always like equality.
By the
So,
way, Quest, your mic is like cutting out intermittently. It's not awful, but like every
Yeah, I hear it
time you
too.
say a sentence, like a word or something will go missing. I don't know if it's a distance thing, but just a heads up.
hopefully it doesn't come up too much in
Perfect to
editing.
screen to see if it's affecting it.
Yeah, you gotta do it a bit more smoothly. I'm in the middle of something. Anyway, hopefully y'all are hearing the vast majority of what I'm saying. I can obviously look at the mic settings in post and see if there's anything that's getting jacked up. But I guess to get to the gist of it, since you might not be able to hear everything I'm saying, what do y'all make of something like this? Do y'all think that this having these options creates an environment where we're pushing each other away, or are y'all fine with women exclusive options? Not for just for like for ride shares, but like for also like I mentioned, like people that want women only restaurants, women only gyms, women only I don't know clothing stores. What do you think, Ghost?
I am fine with this, and I think it's a good idea. I'm obviously not a woman, but I've heard enough stories from family members, from friends that are women that have to deal with a lot of bullshit on the regular from men. And without getting into a all men are trash thing, a lot of men are trash. A lot of women are trash, but a lot of men are trash as well. So whatever measures what we need to take to avoid certain unsavory characters, I fully endorse, and I have no issues with at all. Because again, I've heard some stories that some of these dudes are just out of their minds.
Oh my god. You know the unfortunate part about that though? Well, a lot of guys, like you said, are trash and on some like weirdo stuff. I think there might be a world in which my mind starts to form to the notion of that it's not necessarily a sex thing, even though you probably do see a lot more like a perverse. How does the scripture describe it? Like just disgusting behavior in that regards. Even though you might see that more from men, and that might just be like a person's defective thing. Because hearing you mention that reminds me of a story. This, if any kids are listening, close your ears. So there's this guy that's going around that's been caught for this multiple times, and it happened again in recent weeks. This guy is literally known as a butt sniffer. Like
Oh my
he'll
god,
go to
I
like Barnes
heard
and
this
Nobles
bullshit.
and pretend he's getting a book in on the lower shelves, but then he starts sniffing people. And obviously, when you think of that, you think, some people think, oh, like this is like a problem. Like we need to, protect women from things like this. But that guy's just like a bug out. Like he's like literally like he's literally not. Oh, he doesn't have office facilities. Like, and obviously, again, I'm not. I probably tend to agree. Like, so you see that a lot more in men. I don't think that's a sex exclusive thing. I think somebody that's mentally unstable is just it's gonna happen regardless. But again, we're all about preventative measures here. What about you, Ace? What do you think of this change that they might want to be doling out? And then not just this change, but like in general, do you think women-only spaces is a by and large a positive thing, or do you think it pushes us to a negative environment?
Yeah, I'm rocking with it. I'm right there with Ghost. Everything he said, I completely align with. I will say, and maybe I shouldn't be this frank or upfront, but when I hear stuff like this, it does kind of like, um, like I don't know if this is the right way to put it, but like hit my ego a little bit. Like there's an initial damn, like women just have that much problem with men, and like it, I kind of put myself in those shoes, or in the position of like, oh, women don't like men in general, including me. But then it's like you have to step back for a second and be like, hold up, nah, dudes can really be.
Really cute.
I know it's kind of silly, um, but yeah, just in general, dudes can really be like inappropriate, um, and worse. And the difference with women compared to men, I mean, you could say this isn't necessarily valid all the time, but I would say for the most part, like the threat of violence, or the threat of just not being able to protect yourself, or against any unwanted or advances or anything like that, is much more prevalent, is much more of a risk,
That's
when
definitely
it comes to women
subjective.
versus men.
Because
Yeah,
I don't know if you've been
yeah.
seeing some of these stories with some of these female teachers. They would, man. Some people would say it's an epidemic of violence towards young males.
Well, I mean, there's an age gap there too. If you're talking about young men and older women, then yes, there's more so of a power dynamic, things like that. Um, but adults, like once you get to adults, I think uh, the balances tip.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, I mean, I just wanted to say that, kind of to say like I I think that's probably why when we hear stories like this, there is any type of backlash, or large vocal majority of men like having an issue with this type of stuff. I mean, before we actually started recording, we were talking about the T app briefly, and I think that was like a similar instance where
Yep.
either the dudes that are being vocal about it are the bad guys, or is probably also like a lot of men just feeling like putting themselves in a position that it's not, the women aren't talking about you, like it's dudes that are way worse than you, like you just have to keep that in mind. So
Yeah, 100% agreed. Obviously, I'm on board pretty much as well. Sorry for anyone that was looking for any scolding or hot takes, but yeah, here on this platform, I don't think any of us would have any level of issue with this. I'm always receptive to the fact that there might be some random nuance implication that I can't necessarily think of in the moment. But for the most part, and I'm on record that like as it pertains to spaces where and specifically talking about women, or they would prefer to have that space for their sex alone. I have no problems. Like when they mention female only gyms, I have no problem. Like in general, more options is not going to be a harmful. It's just not going to be harmful. At least to me, it's definitely no skin off my thing. I was gonna say before. I don't know if it was maybe not coming through, but the only thing, you know me, I like equality. So if they're gonna have the woman only preference, let's get a male only preference too, because it's getting to the end of the podcast, so people are just being a little funny, but some people would definitely say they feel safer in the context of driving with one sex over the other. I'm not saying which,
what?
but just
Oh
saying.
my god. Man and woman only roadways are crazy, bro. That's my mind is going so many different directions with that, but I will leave it alone.
Mine is well, mine is too. But the moral of the story is, yeah, there's never a need to feel any type of way when people want safety, or want protective measures, as long as they're not super infringing on anybody else. I guess one implication could be like maybe less guys would, you see some guys like their income would decrease since you see more women taking this option. So maybe there can be some slight economic impacts. But I don't know. Get good. You were born the wrong one. Anyway, if there's nothing else, we can move on to the next topic.